Hello everyone, I thought I'd do another little Cyberverse figure review for you. This one comes from the Revenge of the Fallen line and is a repaint of the Brawl figure which was out for the first of the newer movies. As you can see, he's painted blue, and this, I should say his name as well, this is Tankor, and as you can see he's pretty much the same mould as Brawl. He's got some different, obviously, colour applications, as Brawl was obviously a green tank. You've got silver there on the front of the tank with a little bit of yellow striping around the back and some silvery gunmetal type colour paint for the tracks, and of course the obligatory little bit of kibble there underneath where you can see the sort of face and chest of the figure, of Tankor's figure. Quite nicely detailed. It's a little bit of a shame that due to the way it transforms that the tank turret doesn't move round, or the smaller turret doesn't move. But then you are talking about Cyberverse figure, it is only a small figure. The only bit of movement in tank mode, you've got little tiny wheels underneath to roll it along. And I'd have to say quite a delicately sort of feeling sort of gun. I wouldn't like to pull that around too much because it does just have that feeling like one day it could just go snap. So obviously that's something to watch out for later if it gets any plastic degradation. Okay, I'll do the transformation for you now. First of all, we've got to split the turret, I believe. That's a little bit, you've got to be careful because obviously with all these little bits sticking out it'd be all too easy to snap them off as you do it. And they are quite tight, the posts. Oh, there you go, popped him off his ball joint there. They are quite tight on these posts, so I would sort of again suggest you get your nail in there and just sort of ping it open. I did that a little bit too much then, and obviously with all these Cyberverse figures they do have ball joints that they release rather than break the figure, which is one good feature with them. And right, carry on with the transformation. You bring the turret parts out to the side, and at this point, while he's clear at the top here, you want to swing the tank turret, the tank gun round and in line with his arm, so it becomes like a arm cannon. Now you take the rear section of the tank and separate it, and again that's held by little posts and holes inside the legs. And these rear sections, well, the bits are sticking out at the back there, you flip them up 90 degrees and that makes his toes. And then I think you can sort of see where the transformation is going now. Obviously this is the hinge part there where it's the silver section, and you just take that down and round, and that reveals his upper chest, what we saw from underneath the tank, and his face. And then it's just a case of swivelling the arms round to bring him down to the sides. It's quite a nice, again, quite a nice little figure. Not the best posability in the legs, he's only really sort of ball jointed at the hip, and it can revolve just below the hip there, but there's no obviously knee movement because these legs are quite chunky. As I say, sort of like you've got the main tank turret gun there on his arms, so it becomes like a shoulder or shoulder or arm cannon, a little bit like Megatron's, I suppose. And some little paint applications there on his chest, his Decepticon logo, a little red cross and a little bit more yellow there. But quite a nice face paint there, picking out his eyes and silver on the front. A little bit unusual having a blue tank. I can't say I'm familiar with a blue camouflage on military vehicles, but there you go. And also I should say, also picked out some silver there on his legs to give him a little bit more colour. But he's quite a nice little figure. A little bit of sort of bland at the back there. Obviously, although they've put some moulding details in, it's only really his tank treads at the back there, so a little bit blank. So obviously, if you're displaying, obviously you need him to be facing front. But yeah, not a bad little figure in itself, and another Cyberverse figure that I'd recommend getting. A little bit better than the obligatory sort of like repaints of Bumblebee. It is at least, although this is a repaint of Brawl, it is at least, you know, it's a little bit different in that sense, and at least they've kept him a Decepticon, so you could have several tanks but without actually being the same figure, which is quite nice as well. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed that review. Please feel free to subscribe or rate, and I shall see you again for another Transformers review.